Welcome back to the channel, Moparman 1978. I'm out here today, a few hours before I have to go to work. My Friday. Next 2 days I'm off. So let me show you, I got out here early this morning after I ate some breakfast. So we're in the process of getting this yard cleaned up, especially my work area back here. I moved this area up further, got it all cleaned up. Leaf blowed. There was tons of leaves and debris from off of these pine trees, crap like that, but I had to make sure to get all the leaves and clutter underneath that had blown back underneath my Dart. For those of you that are new to the channel that haven't seen my other project, this is my 65 Dodge Dart two-door post car. I had to put that sheet metal over the windows and strap it down because of the last severe weather we had. Luckily we didn't have any hail out of it, so I want to protect my windows. I definitely got to get a good quality carport to store this Dart, to park this car underneath or store it underneath of it. There's the drive shaft I got to have shortened down for it because I put an 8 3/4 rear end under this. The front end's all set up for V8. It's got polyurethane bushings the whole 9 yards. The rear end's got super stock leaf springs, polyurethane bushings, adjustable shackles, and modified rear shackle extension blocks to compensate for the geometry of the super stock leaf springs. And for those of you that don't know, if you buy the super stock leaf springs and you go to put them on these 63 to 66 A-body cars, they'll bolt up. I've got the Mancini Racing adjustable leaf spring brackets here. It's got the two settings where you can bring this leaf spring up or you can bring them down. And then real quick I'll show you, like I said, I have adjustable shackles under here. A lot of people that watch the channel already know about all this stuff, but there is the, yeah, let me see if I can turn the light on. Focus, come on phone. There is the modified brackets. I used basically like 2x4 box tubing, thick wall, and had to extend. It was wide enough here to bring the mounting bracket here out and correct the geometry. So now when you rest the put the weight down on the leaf springs and the rear end and the tires, the shackles actually come down and back at an angle more towards the bumper, because if you don't, the shackles actually go forward, and then when I put the regular shackles on, the factory ones, it just flipped them up and they smacked the bottom of the trunk floor. And so now these are at the proper angle. So yeah, and so I got that all fixed. There is the, for people that don't believe me, there is the 8 3/4, and it has a peg leg third member, but it's a 489 case. I scored that one from a junkyard for 150 bucks, and it come with 391 gears. And the only thing I got left back here to do is fill the rear end with fluid, finish tightening the U-bolts, and those U-bolts did come from Mancini Racing. They do have the flat spots on the underside of the arch with the little crosshatch extension mark, or whatever they call them, for the grip onto the rear end. I got 11-inch drum brakes. I still got to buy the odds and ends of brake stuff, the brake drums, the brake, the wheel cylinders, all that kind of odds and ends. I got the leaf. I got the shocks. I have to use late 60s to early 70s B-body shocks for this, since the back end sits up so high. And I'll probably have to use a pickup truck hydraulic hose going between the two brake lines down here on the back, just to make sure I have enough line to expand and contract without it pulling on. I don't want to use the factory one because it might not be long enough, but anyway, 235 75 15s. That's the widest I can go with those 15 by 7 inch rims on there, and it is all 5 on 4.5 bolt pattern, even up front. But so those tires just fit, and the lip just clears the sidewall of the tires. And then up here are 14 by 6s. And then what I did with, I went with a taller wall tire, and these also have the big bolt pattern on them as well. Front disc brakes. And but yeah, anyway, slowly but surely I'll get back onto this one. But today in this video, we're robbing Peter to pay Paul. My car has the I'll just show you here. There you go. Here's some stickers that I've had put on in the past. And then because I buy a lot of my good quality grade A anti-rust coated bolts from Fastenal, I've found somebody was making Fastenal stickers. But what I want to do is I want to come in on the back side of the window and put a white rectangular cutout piece to go along the back, so it illuminates this blue lettering on that window. But anyway, you got to make sure you keep all your stuff locked up, even though if we got signs that covers our butts legally, warning people. But yeah, I got to do a patch panel down there. I'm just using flat old sheet metal. And then I got one over here I got to do. I got the other side already done. Somebody decided to use baking sheets with tar and sheet metal screws to put patch panels in. But here's those bucket seats, low back bucket seats that came out of like a Dodge Ram Charger or late 70s, early 80s Dodge trucks. They're the same thing as A100 van seats. They're a little bit more puffier than the van seats or the early A-body seats, but they're just as light. I mean, they're super light. There's hardly anything to them, and you just unbolt that big sheet metal box off the bottom. And I will be making some brackets or some tube brackets. I'll copy the ones that I did for the Valiant for these seats as well. So I got one here and one in the storage shed. And here's my windage tray that came off of the 318 that I put in my truck. So I'm saving that for my 360 small block build. There's my other slotted mag. But yeah, but anyway, you can see a lot of the different stickers. Oh, speaking of that one over there, oh, there's a wasp in here. Oh, I got him. Home run, knocked his ass out. That one right there. The Mofo Driver. If you get a chance, check out his channel on YouTube. There's another one. I don't know if that's the same one or what, but anyway, I got him. Anyway, let's close this one. And speaking of that, mail call. Let's see who delivered us a letter here without showing off their address. The Mofo Driver. He sent me a couple of new stickers. Well, sent me one of the originals, which is cool, nothing wrong with that. And then he's getting ready to do a bunch of other decals. He just got done doing this one, and I think he's going to do a series of them, of all the different monsters, and so you can collect the whole set, hopefully. So I got me a Frankenstein. So appreciate that, Mofo Driver, Chris. But anyway, there's that. And today, like I said, we're going to rob Peter to pay Paul. That basically means we're going to borrow something from out of this car. And I'll show you what we're doing. I have to get down in here. Oh. Now you know. Now you guys know why it takes a long time for me to get stuff done, because this stuff. Anyway, and work schedule and weather. But as you can see, there's that crappy patch panel. All this has got to come out, especially right there. Anyway, I put an I had an B&M All-Star shifter or Star shifter with the ratchet shift built into it in this car for a long time. So I've got the shifter cable still in the car, and I got the B&M shift cable mounting bracket and hardware still bolted to the side of the transmission. So we're going to be taking all that off today, and then we're going to go install it on my mom's car. And then I got the Star shifter in the house, and we're going to be mounting that up today so we can move the car out of the driveway and at least pull it into the yard. And then when I pull it in the yard, I'm going to get into position and on a more of a flat spot, and then drive the back of the car up on really good quality steel ramps that I've had for years. And then I'm going to block the tires and lock the emergency brake down, and then I'm going to drop the drive shaft, and I'm going to be replacing that front seal on the rear end on that 7 1/4. So stay tuned, and when I come back, I'll have all this bracket and stuff off of here. So bear with me. Okay, so I'm back. As you can see, I got the cable, B&M cable. Keep in mind this was used when I got it, but it's still in good shape. I'm going to oil it before I clean it up, reinstall it. I don't know what part number it is. I thought there might be a part. When I clean it up, I'll find out if there's a set of numbers on the side of this thing. Because on their website, they don't really tell you how to go about measuring these things. I guess I just measure it from end to end and see if this matches up to anything in their parts catalog number. But anyway, I did the measurement because I had bucket seats in my Dart before that were kind of high back bucket seats from out of a Saturn. And what I did is I measured from, I'll just show you. Turn the light on in here. All I did is measure from this body seam across and then measured back, and you can see this hole. Usually what you want to do is you want to drill the hole and then take a big heavy duty screwdriver or a long 3/8 extension, and you'll stick it down that hole, and then what you'll do is you'll pry down and pry up, and you'll make this right here, you'll have it dip down, and this will go up a little bit. That way that braided cable can go through there and then come up nicely right up to your shifter. And you won't have any issues there where it might, so it doesn't kink it and then go down and over. I just cut a hole in here and ovaled it out, so it made it easier to just install it. So anyway, so right at the back of this hole, it measures from there to the back of this hole measures 25, and into the front of this hole is 24. So there's a total of 1 inch right there. So that's what we'll be doing on the Valiant. We're going to measure the Valiant to make sure these cars have the same measurements, and then we'll find out whatever and go from there. Stay tuned. Okay, so I just got done measuring this, making sure I didn't, because it's got kind of it's a little bit warped, as you can see here on the end. Like I said, it was used when I got it, come off a different shifter. Anyway, it says from here all the way to the end, stretched out straight. At this tip, it measures a total of 5 feet. So But anyway, let's get started working on this thing. I'm going to pop the hood, let some light underneath the car, and like I said, that B&M kit's pretty cheap. We just need something right now, and I have to wait till payday to reorder the kit to go back on the Dart. But anyway, yeah, I stored a little bit of crap in here. So I went with .4 brake fluid, since this system hasn't been, we're going to be bleeding the brakes today too, before we drive this thing around in the yard and whatnot. I think this will be the first time it's going to actually be mobile. It's not going to be able to drive down the road right now. I mean, I guess you could, because I got the bolts for the upper control arms all torqued down, so they're not going to move. But the camber's a little off on each tire. Instead of sitting straight up and down, it's kind of, the top of the tires kind of tilted out a little bit. Or anyway. But yeah, so I just wanted to let some light down in there so we can see what we're doing without having to get out a bunch of extra equipment, shop lights and all that stuff. So anyway, stand by. And as you can already see, well, maybe can't, right here, I already mapped these out for the homemade bucket seat angled brackets so we can mount the seats to the floor. But anyway, when I had the floor shifter in here, I was taking a guess where we wanted it positioned, and I measured back 24, 25, and in the middle. And then look over here, this is the trace out of the mounting bracket on the front of the shifter. There's the bolt hole, and then I don't know if you can see it or not in this photo, because there's a bolt hole right here, and then we made another marking, and it looks like the bolt hole goes right there too for the back mounting bracket of the shifter. So anyway, let's get started. Well, this is a cutting off for this video. This is going to be a part 1. I'm going to have to do a part 2 tomorrow. But I got the, with my mom's help, I got the, well, I got her underneath the vehicle. She sat in here and used the crescent wrench to help hold the bolt heads while I put the nuts on underneath. So we got that bolted in. I just got the hole drilled, and the shifter cable ran through the floor along the side of the transmission. I still got to get the little C-clip right about there to keep the shifter part locked in. And then all the bracket and stuff like that goes to the bottom on the side of the transmission underneath is all in this bucket, this carrying tote here. That'll have to be done tomorrow. I'm off tomorrow, but it's supposed to rain Friday on my other day off, so I'll try to get as much done as possible. So stay tuned for that. Until next time.